2, 1, and the bonus ball is orange.
You know, Zoe, that was funny the first time you did it.
No,
but
it
now
wasn't.
you've been doing it every week for about 3 months.
Yes.
So a big hello to everybody. It's really great to see you, and I do hope that you are well. It's Monday, it's 7 o'clock UK time, and that can only mean one thing, the greatest live stream about all things Vitamin Model Railway. And today, in the loft, we are joined by Ellis Clark from Clark Railworks.
Thank you very much.
And
Hello.
this is indeed a great honour. I think you're actually the first manufacturer to actually visit.
Oh, really? There we go.
We've had quite a few on over like Zoom calls and
Yep.
Skype.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what were your first impressions coming up here? Because I know a lot of people do say it's smaller than it looks on camera.
It's a great little space. It's good. It's I like it. I mean, from my history in dealing with pre-owned, I've been in many lofts
I can
looking
imagine.
at collections. So no, you've got love a good loft layout. No, it's great. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, anyway, look, welcome to Weir Yard, and of course, people will know you. I guess from shows is the big thing. You're always there. You're always at the stand, and you're always like sleeves up and getting stuck in. And you know, I can't think of many other manufacturers where the big cheese at the top would just get stuck in and be so involved and be ready to talk to people, but also serve them and run their orders through the till. What's your ethic for running a business in the model railway world?
Yeah. I just love being a part of it all. I like I love being at the forefront of it all. I love the hobby, the industry, and I just get such a buzz from it. So I love shows. Absolutely love shows. I think they're brilliant. I spend a lot of time planning our stand layout and trying to tweak it, and
it's
always
quite a fancy stand as well.
We're getting there.
As like oh, lad.
No. It's
but it's very well presented and always has been from the outset. And did you have a background in the model railway industry at all from prior to starting the business?
Only as such of having model railways as a kid through my dad. My dad, Andrew of Andrew Clark Models, he does die-cast model cars, buses, lorries, and he also used to do model trains as well. And I kind of pinched that off him when I was 18, and I wanted to set up a business, and it snowballed from there really. And my dad still has the office upstairs from me. And they're interconnected, so it's stayed in the family. It's a nice feel. It's good.
I mean,
really
is that difficult working with your dad then? Does he
No,
not get tempted to come down and go, son, you're not doing that right?
No, not me and my dad are so similar. People think we sound the same, look the same, and no, we're so easygoing that never happens. No, not at all. We get on very, very well to me and my dad. Yeah.
And I mean, one of the things with the second-hand stuff, and we'll move on to delving into.
Before you do,
Yeah.
I've got a brilliant line here from Ben Tollett. It says, I've got one complaint about Ellis Clark's stand. Your rummage section's too busy.
You need sharp elbows.
Do you know, it's really funny. We last thing I said at the show is we need to get more space at the front of the stand for people to get around the rummage process, because people can't get. But yeah,
you need to work hard.
It's got to be a good thing when your only complaint is that you're too popular.
too busy. Yeah, I'll take that.
How dare you be successful? But actually, I just like on that jumping off point. One of the things that I really love about your second hand, and I got one here, is the way they get presented. When you buy from your website, when they come gift wrapped, and I really love this. And I'd like to put out a really big thanks to Mark John Ralph. You are an absolute star. He incredibly kindly, out of the blue, I got a thing saying, I saw a model that you were after on Ellis Clark. I hope you don't mind. I've got it for you. But this is the thing. When it comes, it's like being like 80 again at a birthday party.
Yeah.
So let's see what he's got for. Oh wow!
Is it ticking?
It's a Gronk. So this is. The Liverpool Street Pilot. So you're probably going to look at that and go, oh, I remember posting that out.
Yeah.
So there
Is
we
it a limited edition one? That
It
one?
was, yeah. I think it was Model Zone did this.
Yeah.
So
Pop it up on the big screen.
an
for you.
amazing thank you. Let me just say to Mark John Ralph, and we're going to be sending Mark one of the coveted Caledonian Blue Monday Club badges. It's an amazing thank you for that generosity. I can't believe that. It's one of these things, it's almost dangerous for me to mention, like, oh, I'm really looking for X, Y, and Z. Because they sometimes turn up. But you've got a very, very thorough description in here. And obviously I've not seen this before. So we've got the descriptions in here. And with second hand, how important is it to be very thorough in terms of how you describe something?
Yeah, really thorough. Really thorough. It's with pre-owned. It's a challenge in terms of there's amount of time we have to spend on it because we want to get as much onto the websites as possible without and at the same time we describe everything, test run everything, picture everything, and we have to be able to offer it all at a price that's competitive, that people like. And same with the shows as well, getting pre-owned items ready for the shows, especially the rummage and things like that. So but we're very thorough with what we do, and we put as much as we can into describing them right and getting that condition right as well.
And obviously you started out with the second hand, but you're now becoming incredibly well known for the actual models that you're bringing to the market. I mean, was that quite a big leap to go from buying and selling the second hand to thinking, right, well, we're going to actually tool up and make our own models? Was it a case of the market wasn't giving you the models that you personally wanted, or did you think, actually we could do better?
It was, I suppose, really, we in a sense we just had a way that we wanted to do it, if you like, and models we wanted to do, a way we wanted to present them, a way we wanted to market them, and a brand we wanted to grow, really. And we just wanted to start something we could build up on and create a brand with, and we've only just started and really like it.
I've got to jump in. We haven't run VT.
Oh, sorry, I get carried away. We're supposed to run the intro, so yes, that's me told. So we're just going to run the intro, and then we'll be back with Ellis Clark.
Welcome to the Monday Club, your online model rail club for all the news, gossip, layout tours and more, with your host, broadcaster and model maker, Jennifer Kirk.
So we are back, and a huge thank you to Sawyer Models who sponsor the Monday Club. Thank you so much for helping to keep the lights on. You can of course check them out at the link down below. So we're back up here in the loft with Ellis Clark from Ellis Clark Trains, and we were talking a little bit before the intro about that jump, the leap of faith from doing second hand to going, actually we can do this. And so I think one of your first, if not the first, was the press flow cements in O-gauge.
Yes, that was our first. Yep, that was our first model out. Yeah, it was.
And with that, and so did you have the idea that actually we want to make our own models and then assemble a design team, or did you find that you had people coming in and think, actually we've got people, we've got the skills, we can make this happen?
No, it was. I suppose the first thing was this is something we want to do, and then it was building a team from the ground up and building it all in our image, really, and just growing from there, like I say. And
I mean, they were incredible. And was that something that was quite a shock to deal with? That actually you then immediately started winning lots of awards for your first model. I mean, I know from reviewing the Pressflow cements that they were the first model that was like, I can't fault them. There is nothing on this that I can fault. Did that then kind of leave you thinking, well, how do we follow that?
Yeah, very much. Very incredibly humbling. I mean, you know, we put so much into all our models, and I mean, yeah, winning the awards is you know, huge honour. Really, you know, it does make a lot of it even more worthwhile. But yeah, it did make it hard to follow, because then we had the Wickhams and the Black Fives. Yeah. It does make it, because as soon as you've had that taste of winning awards, you're like, oh, I always want to win them now. You know, we always want to win them with our next ones. And
I think in some respect, I've seen a lot of manufacturers where when they first appear, it's almost like what they say, like with bands, where the first album has almost been like a labour of love, and then you have the difficult second album, because suddenly it's like, oh hell, we've got to follow this up with something, and you don't necessarily have the time and all of that devoted research that's gone in, because you're thinking, well, we've got to get the next one out. But the Wickham rail trolley was, in a way, a very ambitious plan, because it's such a small thing, and even in O gauge, it's actually smaller than a lot of 00 models.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
and yet you've managed to cram into that sound fitted options, and I still can't work out where all of that is. But you've also got working lights as well, and there's a stay alive. So basically, it's got that the holy trinity of it. It's like you put it on the track and it doesn't matter; it will just work. You will not get frustrated with it because it will just work. And you know, that in itself is ambitious to dive in on that. But is there a very different process between going, we'll do rolling stock and we'll do locomotives?
Yeah, rolling stock's a lot easier, a lot less stressful, and you get to sleep a bit more. And
I suppose with locomotives, it's a big investment. If something doesn't quite work out, I mean, people forget. You know, you could go down to the BMW dealership and buy a brand new 7 Series off the forecourt. Just drive away, pay cash, and that's still not as expensive as some of these projects can be, especially when you've got to put in lots of tooling options. You know, it's a lot to go in, because you can bet your boots that as soon as it's delivered, there'll be somebody going, I think you'll find that rivet's in the wrong place.
We do have one thing. I'm going to jump in.
Yep.
So far, we've had someone ask, do you have any plans to go into TT120? Someone's asking, do you have any plans to go into 009? And I think Zantec was asking, do you have any plans to go into N gauge? So it seems you're in demand at the moment.
In demand, that's really nice to hear.
I think that's always a sign of a manufacturer that people appreciate the products when they want you to visit their scales, so that they can actually buy them as well. But I mean, we should have a bingo card, because it's like a manufacturer is always asked about TT120. But I mean, you've already been quite ambitious. You started in O gauge, and now you started doing 00 gauge. But I mean, have you looked at other scales, or?
Oh yeah, definitely. We've just
1-to-1 scale.
I mean, joking aside, I would like to buy a loco at some point and get an office and have my desk in the loco. That would be cool. You know, that's the dream, isn't it?
A diesel loco or a steam loco?
No, a steam loco. Yeah.
Well, they say, how do you make a small fortune with a steam locomotive? You start with a big fortune. They're a money pit, an absolute money pit. And I know Andrew Hardy from Rapido would probably be the first to tell you that it's like a big bottomless pit. You just forever shovel any cash you can find.
Shovel the money straight into the firebox.
It's kindling. That's what it is.
Yes, they run on freshly squeezed unicorn tears. But no, I mean, I don't, would you be able to get it at Tollicourt in Skipton?
No, not at that office. No, definitely not. No, that's way into the future. We've got a lot of Yeah, we've got a lot of future plans.
You have
for
to
the
build
business.
up, maybe go narrow gauge. I mean,
Narrow gauge, yeah.
It wouldn't be the biggest of offices.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
we've had 7¼ inch in before, so we're building up. We're getting there. Yeah.
I never thought so. I mean, people think about the O gauge, the N gauge, and the double O, but you say you get some really quite large live steams.
We do as well, yeah. I mean, we get a lot of gauge 1. We do a lot of gauge 1 and gauge 1 live steam. And we have had, 3.5 inch gauge, 5 inch gauge, 7¼ as well. We've had a few items there in those scales. We've got, actually on the website at the moment, we've got a 5 inch gauge Stephenson's Rocket and coaches. That is incredible.
Oh, I love that.
It's unreal.
Downstairs there is a 5 inch gauge 1400 class auto tank.
Oh yes, yeah,
so it's
yeah.
like you wouldn't have to have any rolling stock in 5 inch gauge.
I ran with
just
Stephenson's Rocket, I think.
asking for a friend.
Yeah.
But,
She's the friend.
yes, I'm my own best friend. But
Hey!
and you, obviously. Just shut up and eat your biscuits.
Okay.
But no, the big items, I think that everybody, after you did the Black 5 in O gauge, I mean that again, another incredible model. You then announced that you were going to dip your toe into the world of double O. You brought out, I mean, you did start with the low Mac.
In double O, yes,
Yes.
we did. Yep.
And was that a case of testing the market, or was there always at that point plans in the works?
No, there was always plans in the works. I'm just trying to remember if at the time, I think we actually started the Dub D before the low Mac. Obviously, the Dub D just being such a big project took so long
I can
to
imagine,
do.
yeah.
So the low Mac kind of overtook it quite quickly. But yeah, no, we'd always had plans to do more double O and grow that. And it's a balancing act because you don't want to saturate any market in the scales, and obviously we love O gauge and do a lot of O gauge, but there's only so much you can produce in O gauge with it being a much smaller market than double O as well. And the tooling's a lot more expensive as well in O gauge.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to sort of the different scales and different approach.
It's I mean, in this day and age, there's quite a lot of manufacturers and a lot of products coming through. You know, I remember the bad old days in the 80s where you were lucky if a manufacturer announced a locomotive and maybe a wagon in an entire year, and it was like that was your lot. Now we're getting multiple locomotives, multiple wagons, multiple coaches every single month. How difficult is it to pick something that A's not been done before, but B, you sat there thinking, I mean, people think that there's like this smoke-filled club somewhere where all the manufacturers sit around and go, well, we'll take that. But that's not actually how it works. So you will embark on a project and not necessarily know whether somebody else is also doing the same thing. I mean, is that a bit of a headache?
Yeah, it is, and it's really, really difficult. I mean, we do speak to other manufacturers, and I speak to a lot of them on a regular basis, but you can never talk about everything. And there are going to be clashes, whether they be accidental or not, between lots of different companies, and it's really there's no black and white answer to it, to be honest with you. We basically just look to not duplicate or do anything, but then there are models that you think, that's been out for a long time, for example, and you think, it's time that we had a go at that, for example, or we've got a way we want to do that, we're going to go with that. And I suppose, although you're always trying to avoid duplication, sometimes that is just going to happen. But no, we do. I mean, we have got a really good relationship with most manufacturers, and we talk to them regularly, and we do, we talk, and we'll often, it's a two-way street, and we'll often drop, projects for one another, or just look at, what are we doing, and stuff like that. Really, it helps.
But with the Dub D, that's going to be your first model release, is it, with the Nexus sound. And this, when you announced that, I remember it being so we've got this big announcement coming, And I think everybody thought, oh, there'll be another locomotive, because you immediately get the wish list. People go, oh, I hope they do a Class 1, 2, 4, I'll buy one. Or please do a Midland spinner, I'll buy one. And then you announced something there's actually like not really on anybody's radar. You announced an all-new design of sound decoder. And what was the thoughts behind that? Because obviously, I think a lot of people are used to sound decoders from people like ESU, Zemo, Soundtracks, and there must be hundreds of sound manufacturers. So, what was it about current sound decoders that you thought they're not really hitting the spot for what we're looking for in the hobby?
Yeah, well, I suppose there was a few things to it. I mean, the decoders out there's some really high quality ones producing great sounds, but we had a way we wanted to do it. A lot of that was around the dual channel sound and splitting it through different speakers and fading it. And again, a lot of it came down to we looked at it and we just thought there's a way that we want to do the DCC sound, and there's a way that we wanted to grow that as part of our business as well, because the first two decoders we've announced are just the first two of a full range that will grow over the years. And whilst they'll be in our products as well, I'm sure they'll be in other products, and they will be available to consumer as well through retailers and direct.
So you are looking to sell the decoders as a
we will do that as well. We want to get it rolling a little bit first, and we want people to experience it in our Dub Ds as well. See what they're buying, almost let them prove themselves a little bit, because I'd be the same if it was a newly announced product like that, and we've never produced decoders before, then you'd want to see some proof of what you were buying and what you were getting, really, and the quality there.
So in a nutshell, for those people sat there going, so what does it do that's different? Sell the idea to them. What are you getting from Nexus?
Is this a sell me this pen moment?
Yes, sell me this.
I think we've all been in those death by PowerPoint meetings, but no, that's not this. But I mean, I understand the concept whereby at the moment with something like an ESU, you put that in a locomotive, and even if that locomotive has a speaker in the smoke box and a speaker in the tender, they're playing the same sound at the same time. But what Nexus is doing when you're talking about dual channel is that you can send certain sounds to certain speakers, so that that sound is coming from the appropriate place in the locomotive. Is that pretty much?
Yeah, I mean, that is the first sort of main USP, if you like, or not USP, but selling point. But further than that as well, it's not necessarily just about where the speakers are, but it's also been able to play different sounds through different speakers at different frequencies. So when you get the sound of a whistle coming through the same speaker as it's chuffing, and you get that like almost vibration sound from the whistle, and it doesn't quite sound right. Even if it's a small loco where you're thinking, okay, the speakers are, if there's an 08 down here, for example, I don't know if you can see that, but if you had a speaker at the back and front, then obviously you're thinking, okay, they're so close together, you're not going to hear left and right, or back and front. But what you can do then is you can split their sounds away. So you could have the horn coming out of one whilst the diesel engines, the
so
low
that they don't
sort of
fight against
exactly that.
Well,
they're not fighting against each other.
It's a bit like when you buy a stereo. If you have a look inside the speakers, it's not a single cone in there. You've got your tweeters, your woofers, and your mid-range. And it's because certain speakers are better at reproducing certain frequency ranges. So effectively what you're saying is that you can not just have the exhaust coming from the front, whereas you'd have like the fireman shoveling from the back, but you can have the bass sounds directed to a speaker that's set up specifically for bass, without compromising the more trebly sounds like the whistle. Exactly that.
And one of the other things we can do as well with it, which is really nice, you can fade the sounds back and forth as well through each speaker, so you can create much more of an immersive effect from it.
A bit like, in pop music in the 60s, when they started to go stereo from mono, and you got a lot of groups that would actually make their records different to actually take advantage.
Yeah.
So I mean, one of the biggest ones, obviously, the Beatles.
Yeah.
That was a big quantum leap for audio, and people are still listening in stereo now because it was such a quantum leap from mono. But I guess when you get something like a current generation decoder, what they're effectively kicking out, doesn't matter how fancy the sounds are, how many sounds it can play at the same time, it's playing them in mono through a single speaker channel.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a bit like, you try listening to Sgt. Pepper's through a mono system and through a stereo system, and you'll see what the difference is like.
Most people are listening to it through a mono system.
No, but they have other tricks up their sleeve. Shut up, Zoe.
The
Stop
amount
it.
of people that listen to stuff on their phones these days.
Don't rain on my parade.
No, I'm trying to actually build on what you're saying. Going from listening to something on your phone to actually listening to it on a proper stereo, it's such a difference.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And sound is such a big thing as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I had one of those, sort of midlife crisis where I got into vinyl. Although not quite
You'd
midlife,
love the
but
wall, the vinyl downstairs then.
there we are. But there's something about it, isn't there? Something about the sound, something about the theatre, the ambience of it. And
I always say it's there's a lot more to listening to music than actually listening to it. There's the tactility of it, the whole aesthetic, and almost the ritual of putting that.
Phenomenology.
No, I'm just
That's what
reading
It's phenomenal.
Phenomenology. It's the psychology behind the process of doing something and how it affects the actual experience.
Yeah, but then we're looking at the Pug coming through as well. That's the other big locomotive announcement, and that's the first, I think, that you've announced where not only are you doing it in O gauge, but you're doing the same model in double O.
Yep.
And is that something that I know a lot of people. So we've got that. Can you bring that up on the
about
screen?
to bring it up on the screen.
So we're going to bring it up on the screen so that people at home can see.
Someone's just put, I hit 40 this year and haven't had a midlife crisis yet.
That's
That's why I'm saying, Matt, having a midlife crisis at 30 is, concerning.
I don't know.
Yes.
I think I had mine at 25. I got it over and done with.
Maybe that's what. Yeah.
What's your body telling you? You had a midlife crisis at 25.
Wait a minute. It's like I've got 3 years left, so I best work hard at it. But is there always when you look at doing a particular new model, is it always in the back of your mind? Could we do this in different scales, or is there such a lot of extra work that has to go into designing something for double O over O gauge that actually they're near as damn it two completely separate projects?
So when it comes to the design, they are almost two completely separate projects. I mean, there is a lot of stuff in the design that will speed up one scale over the other, but the design, it doesn't speed too much up in the design. What it does help with is the research and massively the research. Marketing, great for marketing, if you can say we've got one in each scale. So there is quite a bit there really that helps a lot, and especially when we're doing the artwork and the 2D as well, that there's a lot of crossover there, so you save 80% of your time there really.
Right.
Again, like I say, the research, if you're doing the same liveries and running numbers, or let's say you're doing more in double O but you're picking fewer of those from the double O range to do in O gauge, then again you're saving yourself a lot of work there, and that's just business sense really. If you can do it in more than one scale, then why not really,
and presumably as well, when you take on something like, I mean, the Pug it's one of my favourite models of all time. That and the Gronk, absolutely love them.
Yeah.
And there has been a model in double O since, I think it turned up in the late 80s. But one of the things, when you've been showing the renders and the early samples and such like, is it struck me just how much detail differences there are between supposedly same class members.
Yeah.
And has that been quite an eye-opener when you do it and you think, well, Dapol and then Hornby did one model fits all, and then when you do it, you're thinking, we can't do that. There's this is different, then this one had this.
Mm-hmm.
And is there a lot of work that has to go into things like tooling slides to be able to produce all the different ones?
A huge amount, yeah. And there is always almost a balancing act, because each project has to be financially viable, not just for that project, but so that there's money to invest in future projects.
Yeah.
And I suppose now the challenge for us as manufacturers is we have made a rod for our own backs by making all these different variants.
Yeah.
And I do sometimes look at them and I have to be told a lot of the time what the difference in some of these variants are, whether it be a line of rivets or, some extra cladding somewhere, and you really have to look for it. So, and the work that goes into that is incredible. And a lot of them, so many, because we're producing models that lasted so many decades on the railways.
Yeah.
If you take our LMS Govs, for example, they lasted so many decades. We've got 8 liveries, I think it is, on the Govs, and 7 different models. So there's only 2 liveries that are the same model underneath, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
All the others, because they're at different lives through LMS, BR into later BR Blue, things like that. They've all got things, repairs, changes for health and safety, different steps, different side cladding, all sorts. So, and finding all that information out, especially on a wagon no one cares about, or cares little about compared to, like a Rockstar locomotive, finding that information in the pictures and what they actually did is real challenge.
I think in this day and age, people take for granted everybody's got a digital camera, and it's so easy to take thousands of photos. But when you go back, even into the 1990s, you had 35mm film, and people were stingier with what they took because film cost a lot of money, and you had to get it developed. And actually, you didn't know what you'd taken until it got developed. And I think we all remember holiday snaps, people of a certain age, where it came with a little sticker saying your thumb was over the lens. And when you get back to some of the pre-grouping era, there just aren't any pictures, or at the most you might be lucky and get a works picture, but that's a snapshot of one moment in what can be 35 or 40 years of a model. And how frustrating can that be, where you think, I want to do a model of this, I know it existed, where's the picture? Somebody must have got a picture, because they're all photographing the locomotive at the front of the train.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
You know what the worst part is? There probably were photos of that stuff by someone who worked with it and wanted a record of what they did, and then it's in their family album. They think, oh, no one else is going to be interested in this, so it never gets shared.
Yeah. Or you get, I suppose some of it is just happening upon a picture, because the main subject isn't necessarily the bit that you're interested in.
Yeah.
So you find yourself looking at lots and lots of photographs of express trains or freight trains, which have been framed that somebody wanted a lovely picture of the locomotive, but you're actually looking at the vehicle that's third or fourth down the train, desperately trying to figure out like details from a passing bit on the edge of a photograph.
100%. We had that with one of our demountables, demountable tank wagons. I can't remember what it was, but I think it was the one that was on the back of the breakdown crane. And it was I think we were looking and we were like, hang on a minute, isn't that a demountable sat there in the back? And then from that it was like, okay, where did that crane, where was it housed? Then you were looking at pictures around there just to see if that demountable was somewhere in the background, or in the train, dotted around.
Done that, got the t-shirt.
Yeah, so very much so.
But sometimes, that's part of the fun of the research, and you find things out. It's almost like you go down the rabbit hole and you come out of it and you think, Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed reading about stuff I never knew.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like a detective journey, isn't it?
yeah.
Kind of, yeah, solving the mystery.
We have had a few questions about
Yeah.
this book that's on the screen.
Yeah.
Some people are saying, is that O gauge or double O, that particular
That
one?
one's the O gauge one there. That's the O
Right.
gauge, and that's got inside working valve motion in it as well.
Oh, right, so between the frames there'll be the representation of valves, but as it runs, they will
Yeah, they work
do
as well.
their shimmy.
You can
my
see them through the
goodness.
cutouts of the frames, and it's open framed inside
How
as well.
difficult is it to add that into?
Really difficult. Yeah, it's a real challenge. Nikki, our designer, she
She is
I have to-
very, very good. If she's watching, superb job.
yeah, she has the challenge often of me saying like, I want the inside working valve motion and open frames, but we can't lose any weight. It still needs to have the weight that a loco with a block chassis has. So
Yeah.
you have to get creative, and then that means that for John, you know John,
John Jack, the guru of sound.
exactly, our GCC guy, he's then also got to fit his electronics in there with
Yeah.
probably. So I'm probably just a terrible person to work for, really.
But he sound and stay alive fitted a Bachmann Quarry Hunslet, one of the cabless ones. So if he can do that, he can get sound and
it's
stay
fine.
alive. And
It's not,
everything.
at the end of the day, it's not my problem. It's Nikki and John's problem.
Yes,
that bit.
I'm the ideas person. I have the ideas. I pay you to go and make it happen. But I
At
mean,
this point, I have to admit, if you said John JMC had managed to sound fit a water droplet and you wouldn't be able to see the wires, I'd believe you. The guy is a genius at it.
he is very, very good. I don't know if he's watching or not. I haven't actually been looking much at the chat, but he's definitely. We don't call him the guru of sound for nothing. But is there a temptation sometimes to try and do too much?
Yeah, to be honest with you, that's one of the hardest things. And we have to, as a team, we're also enthusiastic and we follow our ethos of going to that nth degree of detail, of realism. And I suppose as manufacturers and modelers alike, I think we all have to have that level that we're willing to go to or sacrifice. The hardest part is as a modeler, for me, if I was doing it, I'd go absolutely all out. But then it's your time and money.
Yeah.
And the problem is, as a manufacturer, you're thinking, I've got to sell X amount of these at this price.
Yeah.
Therefore, if I'm going to do absolutely everything 100% right, we're not going to make any money out of this.
You're going to end up with something with an RRP in the 4 figures.
Yes.
And people will just look at it and go, ah!
Yeah, exactly.
So I suppose there's always got to be a little bit of a compromise.
The doors, and I suppose it like I say, it's at what level you make that compromise and at what price point you then offer it at, and that is the hardest decision.
Do you think though that with every new model pushes the bar higher, does that then make problems in itself? Because people then expect more, and you then find yourself having to find new ways to improve models. Whereas way back in the 80s, I think a lot of people were fairly happy with a one-piece molded body and a generic chassis underneath that went under the 08, went under the 2MT, went under the went under everything. And actually now people demand more and more. I mean, does the market, do you think, almost not understand the practicalities of making models, or is there an issue that people are demanding more and more features, finesse, things that in the grand scheme of things add a lot of money but perhaps not as much to the overall experience of the end model?
Yeah, really. How long have you got? Really difficult one to answer, and I suppose we are at a point now in model railways where there's a lot of us manufacture, and we're quite new into it as well. So we're forever learning and growing, and I think the problem is we're all competing. We're all trying to create the most detailed models, and the biggest thing about the models that you see in magazines and things is the detail and quality. That's what shows up and things like that, but also the price. And I think,
Yeah.
and I think there is that realization, and it's, businesses have to make good profits on these manufactured items because of the costs and because of what it takes to reinvest it into the next ones
because
to
essentially
keep them coming.
You've got to have the money to do the next project. There's no point in being a hero and be one and done and go, oh, we didn't make enough money, but that's it, we're done.
Yeah.
It doesn't really help anybody. But as somebody who's doing manufacturing, who's enthusiastic about stuff, do you have to have somebody in the background going, actually, you're the only, you and 3 other people are the only people who want that model? Is there a temptation that effectively you could go, oh, well, I want a model of some weird obscure thing, and you kind of become hyper focused on it? Do you need somebody who can then sort of say, actually, hang on, is that commercially viable?
So the beauty of our team is we've got lots of different characters and different viewpoints. So what we do is a lot of us will sit down for a couple of hours, and we have what we call ideas meetings, and we also have specific project meetings, and we will go through ideas, liveries, prototypes, and people will bring their own ideas to the table, say why they think it'll work, how many were built, has a model been done before, are there any existing, stuff like that, and we'll all just kind of quiz each other on it, really. And essentially we'll sort of say, okay, well, would that actually work? How many people would want those? Or it's a bit of a democracy, but if you just left it to me, for example, to decide, then you'd only have a certain type of model, and like you say, so it's not one person who's saying who's pulling the purse strings or holding it back, but it's as a group of us, we've all got that different opinion, and then we go from there, really. And it seems to work really well.
I mean, have there been projects where there's a whole bunch of you really enthusiastic, and then somebody goes, reality check, guys, there's no point in doing that, because all would happen is we wouldn't sell them?
Yeah, there has, and sometimes you get quite far down the track, excuse the pun, with a project, and you'll get quite far into research, and it'll start throwing up issues of how many changes there were, how different they were, and then they might have rebuilt a bunch of them all over the place, and then you're like, hang on a minute, let's just stop at this point, guys, and let's have a look at this, because if we continue with this, if we try and tool it up right, and then how big is the project, are we actually, and then you do have to, and that's a really hard thing to do, especially if it's something that you really want to do or you're passionate about, because then you have to, reality has to set in.
Because you kind of almost get hyper focused into the research, getting excited, like this is going to be amazing because we can do this livery and this livery, and then I suppose the realization says that, hold on, if we want to do that livery, it's effectively all new tooling, because it's so different. And if we want to be able to backdate it to when it was built, that's another set of tooling, and before you know it, it's a bit like you're talking about with the LMS Gov. 7 lots of tooling differences for 8 released models. And we should probably actually show this. You have
I'll let you guys.
I'm mindful that Ellis has brought a whole load of samples. So these have only just been announced. These these are the Govs.
These are the Govs, but I've got the minks as well. Not the animal, but the wagons.
You should have brought the animal. The cat would love it.
No, the minks. Wow. Ooh, actually, the first thing which strikes me is just actually how much weight is in that. So that, I mean, normally you would expect a locomotive to be fairly heavy, but this, it's got a really great weight to it. And you can see this will be this is an EP, so it's kind of a test shot from the tooling.
So that is our first sample, and then I mean technically that's not a running sample, but it does run. And it's got a piece of blue tack on the wheel because it's come out of the cabinet and it stops it from rolling out of the cabinet.
I mean, look at that. Is that coming up on there? The underframe detail is just incredible. And that's something I noticed more and more with new models coming through, is there's a lot of attention paid to what can actually be some very complex underframe piping,
Yeah.
which in a lot of instances you'd never actually see unless you derailed the vehicle onto its side. Does the market demand that, or is it a case of, well, we're going to basically make this the definitive model so that nobody ever need revisit it?
Do you know, that's a really good question. I don't think the market, or I don't think at least the whole of the market demands it, but I think it's definitely become something that's expected under frame detail, at least to a certain extent. And then as manufacturers, it's how much do we push that under frame detailing.
I mean, we've
got a question here from Zantec. What do the different colours on the parts mean?
Yeah, I wish there was a more exciting answer to this, but I mean, a lot of the time we've got different molds that make up this model, and those molds will go on different pressing machines in the factory, and the plastic pellets they will use come in sacks, and they'll just use a different bag of plastic pellets. Having said that, they will also be different
contrast, so you can actually see how the bits fit together. Because I know with if you got something that's all black, you're looking at it and you're going, is it that? Is it? And I know my eyesight, as I get old, is a bit harder. But when you've got the high contrast, it's not about looking aesthetically pleasing. It's about you being able to see, do the detail parts fit how they should?
Mm-hmm.
Do they look how they should?
Yeah.
And are they actually there?
I mean, that's another really good thing. I mean, for example, on this one, the body parts will be on one tool, for example, going through one press machine that will have these brown pellets. The smaller parts are on a different tool going through a different machine, and they've just used the nice salmon pink pellets. I'd love to know what else they use those
I genuinely thought it was different colours for different materials.
I mean,
well, no, sometimes it is as well, because it's not just that. No, because you've got POM that's often black, and die cast. You know.
I mean, I'm guessing if you went to the factory and said, "Oh, is it high contrast so we can see what's going on?" They'd probably go, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
No, it's always fun getting new samples because you never know what colour's going to be used on them. I really like the salmon pink. I like that. That's a winner for me.
I mean, I've seen red, orange, pink, blue, green. I just assumed it was high contrast to make the life of the person checking it over a bit easier to see.
Let's go with that as well.
Yeah, sure.
Why not? Yeah, sure, why not?
Is it? I noticed a few latecomers sneak in. Is Gandalf got anything to say to them?
Gandalf?
A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks,
Where are these
Gandalf.
biscuits? Ooh.
Always nice to see you, Gandalf. It's like, what the hell have I let myself into? so that's the Gov. This will be a different. If I
no problem at all.
I don't want to mix them up, otherwise
you're
somebody
fine.
will be going, they've done this wrong. It says it should be this, and it's this. Is it? No.
No, Jenny's been added. Oh, of course.
And again, I couldn't.
Oh, that looks. I don't know whether.
I could tell you the
Is it
differences there.
missing the underframe
No,
boxes
this
or...
one's got the side strapping all the way down the sides, and this one's got only like the one in the middle there.
Because I'm looking at the underframe, there's less going on, or is that just?
I think it's just. Oh no, you're right, and the underframe differences as well. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I must admit, I'm not an expert on these. That's the other problem as the business grows as well. I have less involvement with each project.
And as well, I suppose there's certain things that are almost like your core interest, but then there's other things that as a business it's like, well, we have to do this because a lot of people actually like that, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's my personal interest, but it means that you have to let another team of people who are really invested in that to take on that
Definitely.
project.
I mean, the thing that's great for me to see is as the team's grown and got bigger, I mean this in the politest possible way, I don't have to have as much involvement, which is brilliant. You know, it's great that, and I just get to see them when they come through in samples and stuff, which is brilliant.
Yeah, you get the fun bits.
I get the fun bits, yeah.
And then you've got these
are the minks, yeah.
Oh wow! So these were a fairly recent announcement.
Yeah, was it
I'll let-
2 weeks ago.
I'm very I don't want to break
Oh,
anything.
no problem at all.
I'll let
You're
you-
fine.
That way, if it just goes, then I
Yeah.
go, I didn't touch it.
No,
Nothing to do with me.
we always make them. I mean, if you know our cabinets at shows, we don't have doors on them so that you can pick them up, and we
these
make
are-
everything as robust as we possibly can.
Again,
so.
that's really quite heavy.
Mm.
And one of the things with these is because you've got the stretcher bars between the W irons, which is something that only comparatively recently we've started seeing that being modelled on wagons. And there's a lot of wagons that have been released even just in the last 10 years that probably should have the stretcher bars but don't. So it's really nice to see that these are starting to appear, but they're actually very robust. I mean, I don't want to actually break it, but you can feel that the materials that have been chosen,
Yeah.
there's a lot of thought gone into making stuff. Like some things are brass etched, some things are quite a hard plastic, other things are a springier plastic, depending on what level of detail you're trying to hold. And I suppose as well, you've got to think, there's going to be some ham-fisted people handling the models. You don't want it
Not
to
just
just break.
And me as well. Yeah, the amount of times I've because you just pick something up,
Sprung
don't you?
buffers as well.
So yeah, I mean, material selection on a wagon is really, really important. Really important on any prototype, really.
I mean, that is really beautiful.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how long are projects in development before you make them public? I know I've seen this before where you get two companies that announce the same model, like one after the other. People go, oh, they're just copying the other. But actually, I'm guessing you've been working on these probably for several years before Joe Q Public find out that you're working on these.
So it depends on the prototype and the project. Locomotives you're generally working on for a lot longer, and project from start to finish from for it coming into stock into our hands, anywhere from sort of 18 months to 4 years, depending on what it is and how many hiccups or issues you find along the way. When I say hiccups or issues, nothing disastrous, but you try things on projects and you're like, will it work, won't it work? And then you get something you're like, no, we'll have to change that. Have to tweak that.
I mean, is there a danger though if you you don't announce until you're at this stage? You're already fairly committed on tooling at this stage. Is there a risk that somebody then crawls out of the woodwork with a photograph and goes, oh, you've got that wrong, and you look at it and it's like, oh, bollocks.
There is very much that. The problem is sometimes, and that is definitely a consideration. But one thing I've always said is there's always going to be something wrong with your model, because you can never get it all right, because we're human and we always aim to get it perfect. But there's always going to be one thing you've missed, or and it's because they change so much as well, and you've only got the information you can find as well on them. And like you say, sometimes someone might have some more information that isn't accessible, and then it comes
and then
forward,
you get it too late. And they go, well, I gave them the information and they did nothing with it. And it's like, because they'd already spent like 6-figure sums on tooling and it was too late.
The thing's coming, it's on a boat coming
and that is a challenge in itself.
It's a bit like there's a wonderful line in an episode of Frasier where he says the only thing better than a perfect meal is a perfect meal with one small tiny flaw that you can pick at endlessly. And sometimes I do think, and as a manufacturer, sometimes it must be a little bit infuriating when you poured your heart and soul into a project, and then when you deliver it, there'll be somebody online going, oh, they've got this wrong, oh, look at that, that's right. And you think, do you not understand the fact that compromises have to be made, and some things aren't practical? And is that disheartening as a manufacturer to have people trying to pick holes in something that you've worked so hard on?
Do you know what? It actually isn't to me. The reason I say that is, I think what kind of drives this hobby is the enthusiasm, and that what if we didn't have people that wanted the detail and accuracy there in the first place, then we wouldn't have a market to manufacture for and aim at. And I think what it's like I say, it's that bridge between sort of sometimes explaining, and I'll be as open as I possibly can when commenting back to people, things like that. It is being like, if we have made a mistake, it's or a small thing, and like you say, it depends. I mean, it depends what it is, whether it financially we can alter it, change it. But I mean, you know, we've had loads of feedback that's really helped us with projects, and we've made the changes. And then sometimes it's come too late, and it's a look, really sorry, thank you so much for that. Thank you for the feedback, and thank you for your enthusiasm. But unfortunately, they're on a ship, or you know, or they're already in production, and we can't stop the line. So, but we don't get too many in because you know they're not that big. But like I say, it's kind of that enthusiasm anyway that's driving the hobby. But yeah.
And do you find that there's things you can do now that you couldn't do even like 2, 4, 5 years ago that make certain models now viable that when you started you would have looked at and thought, we can't really do that?
Really good question. Yeah, it is an ever-changing market, especially at the moment. As technology and things change and progress, you have to keep up with it, really. And yeah, I suppose as more and more prototypes get done, that funnel of what is still available to model is getting smaller and smaller, isn't it?
But I mean, do you think though that there's a huge untapped market and potential in locomotives that didn't necessarily reach BR service or get preserved, but nonetheless, when you look at photographs, you think, oh my word, I bet you that there'd be enough people who go, I like that, I'm going to have one.
Yeah, very much so. I think that comes down basically to the prototype and sort of how interesting it is, really, how different it is, and I would sort of say, for example, I'd use a very good example of this, the Oxford railgun that I did.
Yes.
And the amount of people that wanted one of those because it was cool. Anyway, and it was cool, and you're like, I don't do military railgun modelling, but
I think they won, was it the 00 gauge model of the year that year? And it came completely out of left field because nobody would have said, look, you know what the market really needs is a Bosch Buster. And it was just like, da-da, there we go.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I've got one downstairs. I think everybody got one because they went, that's bloody cool, I'm going to have one. And it's probably been one of the most successful models in their range because they've re-released it and re-released it.
Yeah.
And do you find sometimes that locomotives or rolling stock that on paper should be limited appeal actually have a certain wow factor that makes them a big seller?
Definitely, and it has to have that quirkiness, that uniqueness, like the railgun for it to work. If it's something different like that, I mean, if it's a very similar wagon to what's out there and it doesn't look much different, but they only built one of them versus 9,000, then probably not. But like you say, if it's got that quirkiness or that appeal to it, the only challenge again as a manufacturer is if you're going for that market, for that quirkiness, and Oxford tapped into this perfectly, you've got to do it at a price, because it's got to be a price of, I don't need that, but I want it. How much is it? Oh, at that price, I'm definitely having it.
I think it was something like 50 quid.
And it was just,
And it was like, I don't know how they made money off that because it was just such a keen price. And it was a good model as well.
It was,
it wasn't like Plastic Fantastic. It was a really good model. You could even pose the barrel, so you could like take pot shots at France and all sorts. But I mean, how difficult can it be to, with rising costs, to actually factor that in? It's probably the single biggest topic that's always brought up. Like, how much? Every time Bachmann or Hornby do their announcements, It's like you could have a bingo card, and one of those would be how much exclamation mark, exclamation mark. And it does seem to be very much a hot topic of the way costs are in the
Yeah.
hobby. But as a manufacturer, you kind of see the other side of the velvet rope, and you see the reason why things cost that much. I mean, do you feel that the market direction is sustainable, or will people have to cut back on their expectations of the finesse in models and the new innovations?
I think the big thing that happened that maybe isn't quite realised, the price didn't go up as much as you might think. What went up was the part count on models.
Yeah.
So if you actually look at the price per part on a model, it's not gone up that much. What has happened is models are now made out of 2 or 3 times as many parts, and all those parts are hand assembled onto the model. So if you imagine sitting there building a kit, if you've got a kit 60 years ago that's got 50 parts to it, and you build it and it takes you 5 hours, and then all of a sudden you've got a kit today that's got 150 parts and it takes you 15 hours, that's where the difference is. And so I often, yes, obviously you could take a loco and a loco and look at the price difference on them, but the price per part hasn't gone up that much. What has changed is now we want that number of parts. Now what I think would say is where prices will start to sort of simmer. We've got to that point in manufacturing and technology now where we've almost nearly maximized the detail level we can get out, or rather the detail's gone like that, and now it's kind of doing that because there's only so many parts on a model you can get on there. I mean, I don't, if we produce that mink in 20 years from now, I don't think there's anything else we could really put on that now. Whereas
short of individually laying each plank onto a frame, but, you start to get to a ridiculous level. I mean, I know
something that Iron Horse Railways was talking about the other day. What level can you get to where you just can't put more on?
And I think it's about there. And I think what would be really interesting, I have wondered about this, if you were these days if you were to produce a diesel locomotive now at the detail levels of 30, 40 years ago, what price could you actually do it for? And then I wonder what you would think about it.
Is there a gap in the market for much more basic models? Because I know people moan like, oh, I'm being priced out of the hobby. I mean, do you think that actually the reality is if you produced a much more basic £30 class 25, say, would people buy it, or would they just turn their nose up at it?
There's two things in this. I think the first thing is that's where the pre-owned market is fantastic, because you've got, and that's why one reason I love the pre-owned market as well, because you've got those two, we as a business have those two directions or two offers we can give to the customer. I think the other thing I would say is, and how to word this politely, because I'm the same myself. If you have 2 locos in your hand, and you can say, here's the super duper detailed one. This is just the detailed one. You're always going to say, well, I want the super duper detailed one, don't I?
And that's kind of what Hornby found when they did the railroad version and then the premium version. People turned their nose up at the railroad version.
It's not just in trains. Restaurants find the same thing. If I hand you a menu and it says, and as our dessert option we have cheesecake, you might think, ooh, cheesecake. But if I hand you a menu that says Grandma's special cheesecake, more people will go for that because it feels like there's an implied extra, even if it's the same cheesecake.
I mean, one of the things I remember talking to a guy in marketing a long time ago, he said that actually there's a lot of merit in the market of offering the customer 2 choices because it makes them more likely to buy the more expensive one. If you say, we've got the premium product and then we've got the basic product, people like the idea they've got a choice, but then they feel better about going for the premium product because they go, well, I got a better product than the basic one. And in some respects, the basic model serves the purpose of making people buy the other one.
Mm-hmm. And I think I'm just reading some of the comments now, which is really interesting because it's definitely there's definitely two ways of looking at it. And I think that, to be honest with you, I think that's where the beauty of this hobby comes in, because that's one of the things I love about it, that there is such a broad spectrum of what you do, starting with literally spending no money on something. You can build scenics without spending very much at all. You can get some modelling clay and you can carve it, and you can make an incredible looking building for very, very little. Or you can buy a ready-made, super detailed one as well. And I think that's the beauty of what we do, and that's why I love the pre-owned as well, because you can offer those models that people can super detail, or a lot of people buy our pre-owned non-runners, strip out the mechanics and make it a siding loco, make it wrecked, burnt out. And I think again, that's the beauty of our hobby, that there's so much you can do and such a broad spectrum. I think what the challenging thing is, or what the big question is for a manufacturer, or if people say I would be happy having a lesser detailed model and paying less, is there enough demand there to make a big full production run of it or not? That, I suppose, that is the biggest question. I mean, even Hornby Railroad has got more detailed over the years, hasn't it, as well?
True, yes.
I mean, like some of the Railroad Plus stuff, from a distance, you wouldn't realise that it's a cheaper tooling. But I mean, I remember being at a show within earshot of one of the kit manufacturers lamenting about how a manufacturer had picked off another of their kits. And I remember thinking, well, if people actually wanted to build the kit, then surely they'd still buy the kit, even though the ready-to-run model turned up. The fact that people go, actually, I'll buy it ready-made, says that actually the only reason they were building the kit was because there was no alternative.
But some people still wanted it. I've had this discussion with kit manufacturers so many times. Like, I will buy a kit, even if there's a ready-to-run thing, because I want to build the kit. If I don't want to build the kit, I won't buy the kit. So, and even in that situation, some people that didn't want to or couldn't build the kit, but really wanted the locomotive, might have bought the kit and got someone else to assemble it for them. That's extra expense on them that now they don't have to pay. But you've still got the market for the people who wanted a kit in the first place.
And I suppose with dealing in O-gauge in particular, one of the things you often see are kit-built locomotives. And I always thought, when people moan about the price of modern ready-to-run stuff, it's, what do you think it would cost to buy a kit? Actually make it to a high enough standard, but then that's only part of the journey. Then painting it to a high enough standard, because I've seen many a kit, very well made, ruined by a lackluster paint job. And you think, after you've done all that, if you had to pay somebody to do that, it suddenly makes even these highly detailed, ready-to-run models seem cheap by comparison. Because you probably wouldn't get much change out of 1,000, 1,500 quid to pay somebody to build and paint even the most basic of model kit. And in terms of one of the other things you can do is if you multiply through by inflation, the other thing I think that people overlook is that inflation-wise, we're paying the same amount now for our models as people say in the 1970s did in real terms, in terms of the buying power of what your locomotive costs. And in some respects, the issue with people's perception of the prices is that they became too cheap. And I know people go, how dare you suggest that we weren't paying enough? But when manufacturing moved out to China, it's almost like the model railway companies didn't charge enough for these new high fidelity, high detail products that were coming through. And it made the market expect models at a price that was actually unsustainable.
I mean, it's a bit. Price is always going to be the biggest debated one, isn't it?
Yeah.
The biggest debate, and it is. Yeah, it is a really interesting one. It really is.
Yeah, but you're not going to get a manufacturer, Jen, no matter how much you try. You're not going to get a manufacturer to agree about price. Because I can guarantee that in 20, 30 years' time, they're still bringing up that clip, going, he said it then.
Yes, and it'll be it's like when a politician, there'll be that one clip of a politician doing something in the moment that they will run and run and run. And that's, I'm sure somebody said in the council, why don't, you've got Ellis Clark there, why don't you ask what he's got planned? It's like, because he won't tell me. If he hasn't announced it, he's not going to tell me whether I ask him or not. I mean, how many projects, not looking for details on what they are, but how many projects ahead of where you announce do you tend to work? So, like, how many are in the pipeline at any one time?
Yeah, it can vary depending on how many we've recently announced. I think probably around 3 or 4 projects, something like that, I would say.
How would that be a mix between locos and rolling stock?
Yeah, we try to have a good mix of rolling stock and locos and keep rotating it really and make sure we get a bit of everything really.
In terms of things like, so you with the Nexus, bringing that through and actually basically bringing stereo to, in simplistic terms, like that moment in the 60s where the Beatles went, we've got 2 channels now, and suddenly music was changed forever. With innovations like that coming through, and I know in your O-Gauge Pug, one of the features is not just the firebox flicker, but you've also incorporated the ash pan, which is, I've seen that feature on American locomotives where as the loco runs, the ash pan glows more and more as it fills up with ash. Are there any other features that you think in 5 years, 10 years time? Where do you think the hobby's going?
Good question. I suppose that's the difficult thing, isn't it? Because we're always going for that next step, that next big thing. And I suppose that's, highlighting a little bit of what I've said before, because we really are now maximising what we can actually do, and there's detail, light, sound, smoke, firebox glows, other than them actually running on coal, which they do in bigger versions, in the live stream stuff. Then,
I mean, could you imagine locomotives, say, that are scented, so you could actually have a locomotive smell like a locomotive?
They do. You can get scented smoke oil. There is a company. There is I didn't know this. It did make me feel a little bit. The smoke on it was what was it? Now, I did have some from, and I think I can't remember what the scent was, but there is a company that does smoke oil with different scents.
So you could make your train smell like, have that wonderful aroma when you go to a preserved railway, and there's something about the smell of coal burning in a full-size steam engine. You get one whiff and you're like, I'm in my happy place.
I suppose it's just a really expensive room diffuser, isn't it? You just get a rolling road, you put a loco with smoke in it, you put some scented oil in it, and you just,
you could argue though, would it not be cheaper to get a room deodorizer and just put that oil in it and just sort of plug it in the wall socket?
But then you don't have a loco running around.
Yeah, well, you could do that anyway, but rather than putting the mechanism to chuck it out in the locomotive.
Yeah, well, you can get coal candles, can't you, as well?
Yep.
You can get coal candles. Yeah, it's but yeah, no. In terms of what next, what
my only option that I can think of that we haven't had yet is an animated driver and fireman.
Yeah. Yep.
But
and actually make them part of the, so they would have movement.
Like you've got the thing about the firebox sound. The fireman moves as the sound's going.
But the problem with that is you'd have to do something like that well, or it would just look gimmicky.
It would look very gimmicky, but it's going to be expensive as hell, and I don't think it's going to be viable for a long time. But that may be the next step.
But I mean, then again, this time last year, if you'd have said 2-channel sound, I'd have been like,
Yeah, exactly.
You want what now?
Yeah.
So maybe the advancement will come where we least expect
I think you
it.
could be. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, exactly that. You just. I suppose, like you say, as it grows, as technology improves and stuff,
I suppose
more and more things.
I suppose smoke units is probably one area where it's like, can we make the exhaust look a little bit more like smoke from a steam locomotive and a little bit less like a joss stick? I mean, that's one of the areas I think where you get something with a smoke unit and it's like, is that it? I've got a joss stick that does a better job, and it does feel like that's perhaps somewhere where I'm not sure.
It's getting better, isn't it? It's definitely over the years. Yeah,
the water-based ones I think have been a quantum leap in the what looks like steam more than steam. But I think this mileage and the idea of getting a huge cloud of clag out of a diesel locomotive.
That'd be very cool. That would be cool, actually.
But then I think the problem with that then is you then stray into an area where you have health and safety people going, so what's in this cloud of smoke exactly?
Don't ask.
It's like arsenic, cyanide, nothing you need to worry about. Is it safe? Sure, yeah, why not? But yeah, I mean, it's been actually really, really great having a chat with you.
Yeah,
and going through some of these new projects coming through, and it's always exciting to see and feel the things like the EPs and just feeling how heavy it is. So go on, tell me the secret. Is it depleted uranium? Because there's so much weight in these. And I can imagine that the Pug as well.
Yeah.
That it'll be like, geez, where are you hiding all that? Especially when you've got things like, you say, open frames, you've got working valve gear.
Yeah. And
that as well, to make that not only work, but you've also got to think, keeping it working, like after that's run for 10 hours, 100 hours, 1,000 hours, will that still do what it's supposed to? But look, as always, we always give our guests the coveted
Thank you very, very much.
Monday Club badge.
Thank you.
And it gets you discounts in certain retailers, so you can walk into Ellis Clark Trains tomorrow and go, look, discount, baby. It's your shop. What are you talking about, Ellis?
Yeah, I already get my staff discount.
I mean, you get. I presume you get the owner's discount. I'll have one of them. Just put it in my office.
I don't think you're allowed to do that.
Review sample.
Okay, you do know that that's going to get clipped and reused by everyone.
But what I haven't asked you actually is what do you personally model? When you're doing model railways purely as a hobby?
Yep.
What is it that you model?
What is it? At the moment, nothing, because I don't have any spare time at the moment. But I'm one of those that's got boxes and boxes of scenic materials, bits of buildings, bits of stuff. What I am planning on doing for our O-Gauge Pub coming out, I've got a few books and I've folded over the pages in the ones I really want to do. A dockyard
underneath the Liverpool overhead railway,
like that.
And of course, you're doing that option with the smoke deflector, aren't you?
Yes, we've got the spark arrestor, the one on top. I think someone mentioned about the balloon spark arrestor earlier on.
The Busby one for working into the ordnance factory in Aintree.
Yeah, I think one thing one thing I really like is figure painting. As well as I've been practicing a lot of techniques. I've actually been doing it on Warhammer for a while.
I was waiting for that to be said.
There's some really good techniques in it, isn't there? There's some so I've been so I really enjoy figure painting. I find it really therapeutic.
I have to ask now though, what's your army?
Oh, do you know what? This is going to sound really bad. I have no idea. I just really enjoy it. Is it Stormcast Eternals, or is that a thing, or something like that? Is that what it is?
I love the Stormcast Eternals list. They look like they're straight out of Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's cool. It's to be fair, it's very satisfying.
So basically, you go into the shop, go, that one looks pretty.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's how I would be. And she tells me after, well, we can't have the rolling battle church because it's a different. But it looks good. It's got a pipe organ on it and a stained glass window on a tank. But no, actually, I mean, Warhammer is the painting techniques with that. It's one of the reasons I like Key Model World Live because they actually get in all of the military modelers and such like. And what we as railway modelers can learn from them is incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's some of the hyper detailing and the weathering that they do is next level.
I think that show is superb because that cross of expertise, but it flows both ways, doesn't it? And I love that show. Absolutely love it. I think I really want it to succeed long term. Because they're so exchangeable.
3-4 years?
3 years or
3
so,
years.
yeah.
And it always seems like bigger, badder, yellower every time we go there. And I think they're tweaking a little bit with the layout. I thought this last year, it felt like they'd separated out. The military modelers were at one side and the railway modelers were on the other. And I think it worked better when they were all mixed together. The first couple of years wandering around, and you just go from a layout to somebody with a tiny little diorama of a bit of Vietnam jungle, but the detail on this little 6-inch by 6-inch square was such that you could sit there for a full hour and just stare at it and see new things that you haven't seen before. And I just love models that do that, where the more you look, the more it rewards you.
Mm-hmm. Totally
I don't even come close, but one of the things I love doing is having little things hidden away where you'll look at that and go, I've been looking at that for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then suddenly it's like, where did that come from?
I totally agree. Agree.
And it's why I like really small layouts, because actually you can hyper-detail them a lot easier.
And I think that's one of the good things about this hobby is, I think one thing that's changed a lot is people are doing way more small layouts now than they've ever done before. And that's all I'm interested in, to be honest with you. I'm not bothered about a big layout because I quite like the idea of doing it's in between a diorama and a layout, isn't it? But you can, like you say, you can pack so much into it.
Well, that's what I've just finished building. I've done Java Sugarcane Railway. It's 3 foot by 3 foot. You'll have to have a look at it. It's in the conservatory. But stuff like that, it's lovely because you can make a full self-contained railway in a size that you could just sort of pick up and take out like a suitcase type thing.
Yeah.
But are we going to see you at exhibitions with your layout that you're planning on building at any point?
No, I don't think you will. I think that'll be at home. I don't think it'll be. If it's good enough, it might be on our stand as a little test layout for demoing the pug. But no, I honestly, I've been trying to do it for years. I've bought the amount of baseboards I've bought over the years, and then I'm like, right, I'll start this weekend, and then 2 years later, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot to do that.
It's a very expensive shelf.
Yeah, exactly.
But I always say actually starting's the hardest part, because once you start, it's like it fires you up and you become very enthused with what you're doing. So I always say to people, the hardest part is starting, and it's like that in so many things. In a previous career, writing books, people used to say, how do you write a book? And the honest truth was, you have to start. That's the really hard part. And once you start, it almost like the project feeds itself. Yeah. So, just make the start, and you'll probably find that you start to really get sucked into the project, which could be a good or a bad thing.
Well,
Where's Ellis? We haven't seen him in weeks. We need him to sign off on projects. So he's knee deep in plaster bandage and 2-part casting resin.
Yeah, exactly.
So who actually makes the dioramas that you do all the photographs on? Do you have a member of the team?
A bit of both. We've got Dan Everson has done. He's done as some, and a friend of ours as well has done our O gauge one in the showroom. So Yeah. Trying to think if anyone else has done one. And Neil as well, who does the weather, and he's done a couple of
Yes.
dioramas as well. Yeah, he's done a couple of dioramas. So
Brilliant.
yeah.
Well, look, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. You've got your blue badge,
Got my badge.
and now you know where we are.
Now- yeah.
You're welcome to come back any time.
Thank you very much
and
indeed.
hopefully, we'll be seeing some other manufacturers on some. In fact, actually, I do have another one booked in October. Yeah, I told you.
Not long now.
Yeah, it's not long now. So we've actually got one coming in from America.
Oh wow.
So we've got Robert Steers of Roca Prototype Models will be coming on in the near
Who
future.
the chat may know as Scanman.
Yes, he might actually be in at the moment. He's not making a special trip. He's not flying in just for the money. He's actually coming for the Duxford Air Show, and I think his son's at university over here, so it just happened to be.
Yeah, we're not the major attraction. We're like,
No.
well, while you're here,
Yeah, it's like we've got a Monday to kill. Oh, I know. Just joking. But there we are. But just having a look at the chat. I've
oh my goodness, I have to read this out because Kingfisher 1487, his line there. We were watching the A-Team on Prime the other day, and what he's just said just fits. Like, if you're still having issues with your locos and you're afraid to do something, see if your model shop can help, or maybe you could hire the Monday Club. do do do.
To be honest, we'd still be in the maximum security stockade.
You would. You'd be modelling a diorama on the wall.
Yes, oh, this is great. Nobody's bothering me at all. Get me some more static grass. Jen, what is the beverage of choice? Says Robert Cesare 1940. Well, actually, it's a Monster energy drink.
And Dr. Pepper.
Vicky Lawless says, "Crazy fool! I ain't getting on no plane."
I ain't getting on no train, you fool.
Yeah, Ham Shackleton says, "Writing a book is easy. Getting it published is another matter. Tell me about it." Yeah,
We had to start our own company to get you published because no one was printing sci-fi except for large names.
Just have it. I really apologise. I have ignored the chat a little bit.
I've been watching it. They've been mostly talking to a few newcomers with advice on how to fix some locomotives and do some scenery. And it's been a very interesting chat. And I really appreciate the sheer volume of knowledge that people are willing to share.
Well,
It's got a proper community. I love it.
I mean, that's one of the beauties of the online model railway community is there's always somebody who knows how to do something and is willing to do it. I'm acutely aware that that you said you had to go at 8 and it's now half.
yeah.
Oh, no problem at all. No.
So I'm
problem.
really sorry about that.
No, don't be daft. No, I've really enjoyed doing it.
Yeah,
really
no,
enjoyed
no,
doing
no.
it. It's been great.
Hasn't
Yeah.
time flown?
Bree Kennedy 75 says controversial, but Airwolf much better than the A-Team. You take that back. Pity the fool.
I never watched Airwolf.
I remember it a few times. Tim Shaw N4D says Ellis, the quad arts are fantastic.
They really are.
And,
Oh,
and actually,
yeah.
they've sold. I think a lot of deliveries are now sold out, if not.
Yeah,
all
they
of
are.
them.
Yeah, they were.
Are there
yeah.
plans for doing another run on?
At
anything?
some point there will be, yeah, at some point. Not for a while, to be honest. Not for a while, but yeah, at some point.
I mean, would you go and do something like the Quinn sets, or is that perhaps too close?
We've
to the
looked
quad
at
art?
those. They're very close, but they're all different as well. Well, there's a lot of similarities, but they look very similar. But as is often the case, there's a lot of differences
Yeah, I
in
think
length of coaches and stuff.
Because there was actually, I mean, I think the quad arts, it's is it 4 or 3 different coaches in effect in the tooling.
We tooled up for 14 different coaches across all the livery.
Oh, right.
But, I mean, sort of, there were 7 different coaches and then 7 again because they blanked out all the top windows in BR days.
Right.
If I've got that right. Yeah, so it's kind of like 7 main ones. And
Was there
7
ever a
sides.
moment where you thought, we're making a rod for our backs?
Yes,
here?
100%. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
do you like sometimes wake up in the middle of the night going, God, what have I done?
yeah, very much so.
No
Yeah.
worries.
Yeah.
A lot of people are debating the relative merits of Airwolf versus 80. Go on now, behave yourself. We've got
Yeah,
Ellis
'cause you,
Clark.
you all know that Knight Rider was the best. I'm sorry, but
Don't
talking car.
don't hassle the Hoff. Simon H317 says, "Come on, Ellis, TT120." I mean, do you get a lot of people saying, "Go on, do TT120"?
More and more. Yeah, I really like it as a scale, so I'm sure at some point we'll.
See a pub,
Yeah.
maybe, or is that
That'd be tiny, wouldn't it? But no, never say never. Never say never.
I mean, you do Dub D and TT120, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a good scale. I do like TT. Yeah.
The thing I like about it actually is the fact that the track width is correct. And that's always tickled me when you get the people online going, "Oh, well, that rivet's in the wrong place, so I'm not buying one now." And you think,
You never
nobody's
were.
mentioned that it's running on narrow gauge track. And but with TT120, the track width, because it didn't come with any historical baggage about the size of motors that were practical and things like that, it's actually the track width is what it should be. And you don't realise until you look at it, and it's a bit like when you look at O-Gauge as well. You look at it and it's like, yeah, it just looks right. In a way that then you look at Double O and you go, something about it.
Yeah.
I understand now why people do. Was it the P4 or something?
P4 and EM, yeah.
P4.
P4
It just
yeah.
it finishes it off by making the track look right.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
understand
Yeah.
it now.
I mean, I suppose that there could arguably be models which aren't practical in Double O, which become practical in TT120 because effectively your wheels are further apart.
So it doesn't unbalance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's running on 12mm track, isn't it? What, 4.5mm less than Double O? Not a huge amount. Stop talking about Knight Rider, people. Come on, behave yourself. We've got Ellis Clark. Ask Ellis Clark some questions.
Ellis, any chance of a double O gauge Knight Rider?
No. I think license. Actually, it's an interesting point. I think a lot of people perhaps don't realise things like licensing with liveries and such like. Is that a real minefield? With
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, sometimes you don't realise. Yeah, but liveries. A lot of them we have to ask for permission on, and there's a lot of hoops to jump through and stuff. Yeah, it's a big part of every project. To be honest, looking at the licensing. Yeah, really is. Yeah, it really is.
It can be surprising, but there's so many things that can trip you up with all sorts of things.
well, even things like using things like the BR crest. What are you demolishing over? The BR crest. People forget it still belongs to the government, and whilst it's not necessarily huge license fees, you still have to do the courtesy of asking permission first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got to do it right.
And I suppose when you go into the more modern era, you're dealing with liveries on companies that still exist, and there will actually be a licensing fee. I've noticed that on some of the modern image models, people have queried, why does that model cost more than that model? And usually it's the licensing fee for that livery.
Yeah.
Although when it comes down to government-owned property, there's a good excuse there when people say, "Why didn't you do X, Y, and Z?" The king said no. You can't argue with that.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, would you consider doing modern stuff, like modern stuff?
Definitely. Yeah, there's nothing we don't kind of look at in the model railway scene. Yeah, definitely modern stuff as well. Yeah.
People are now asking, so you could do Isle of Man Railway on TT1. Yeah, but that wouldn't run on 12mm track. That would run on like Z-gauge track. It would be you're getting down into the realms of really quite small.
So we've got an interesting question here, though, from Mark Wilson. Do you sell American HO?
A lot. Yeah, we do a lot in American HO and Clark Railworks. Yeah.
There you go.
And is there quite a strong market in the UK for that?
Yeah, there is actually. Really strong market for it. We do really well with it. It's we've got a lot on the website at the moment as well. So American HO, big market for us.
Excellent.
And the Clark Railworks site is. I always get mixed up because you've got Ellis.
Sorry,
Clark
yes,
Trains
yeah,
and Clark
yeah.
Railworks,
Yeah.
and my brain goes and give you both names, and I will just deliberately confuse between them. So, Clark Railworks is the pre-owned specialist.
Sorry, no. So basically,
I was reading
It's-
the prompt.
no. Well, so both. Yeah, perhaps we've. So basically, Ellis Clark Trains is our like O gauge and larger scales.
Right.
Clark Railworks is everything HO00 and smaller.
Right.
Nice.
And both of them do pre-owned and new. But yeah, Clark
So is
Railworks HO00 smaller, Ellis Clark Trains O gauge and larger.
Right.
Yeah,
There you go.
Okay.
yeah.
Just and you update the second-hand thing. I always find it magic because you go on there, refresh it, and it's like new stuff has appeared.
Yeah.
And it's some of the stuff on there are things that I'm still eternally grateful, and there will be a blue badge winging its way for this. I have actually looked for one of these for years, and I have missed out on. I think at one point. Probably on your stand at a show, I watched the person who got to the stand in front of me buy one of these, and you're like,
I'll flip it out.
And I will be sending that out tomorrow.
Yeah.
The blue badge.
But hard to find things that you've probably been looking at for a long time. This is where they turn up, and it's like I'm going to be playing with this later on, but. It's always a joy to have a look through, and very competitively priced. How important is that to get the pricing right on second
Oh
hand?
yeah, really important. Yeah, it's a whole another ball game. Really, yeah. Pricing pre-owned is is a whole task in itself. It really is.
So Simon Pitcher says, Ellis, love your O-gauge press flow wagons, have a few.
Oh, thank you, Simon.
Are there plans for another run of those at some point?
Not right now, but again, I'm sure there will be in the future at some point.
Because those are absolutely exquisite. Like I said right at the start of the show, they were the first review item that came in where I just couldn't find anything to fault, and looking at them and going,
Yeah.
I'd just be a complete and utter horrible person to go, oh, that rivet's in the right. It just, there was nothing to fault about them. Everything
thank
you
you.
could want out of a model. And you
Yeah.
got the certificate, and I was
Yes.
looking on the website earlier today, so I was doing a little bit of research. And you've got the certificate that we sent you on the page for those. You can still see the Jenny Kirk Choice Award, and it's like. And when I visited, you had that next to your barista of the year award.
Yeah.
What's the story behind
Oh,
it?
that's a bit of a running joke, really. I think it's the only trophy I've ever won in my life, and it was for when I worked at Costa Coffee. I won for our region, sort of thing, barista of the year. And I'm massively into coffee these days as well. So that is going back a long time now.
So was that like a student job or
I was
in-between
17,
job?
18 when I was working there. I went from that into this. So yeah, straight
I mean
into this.
that is jumping in at the deep end, going straight into running your own company that then became a big player in the manufacturing industry.
Yeah, but I had coffee to keep me going and waking me up in the morning, so it was it made it all the bit easier.
Functioning on raw caffeine.
Yeah.
I am. If you need to go, do say, because I can talk for England.
Yes, you
No
can.
problem. Well, I've got
Not kicking you out, but I'm mindful you did say you needed to leave.
Oh,
for
no
8.
problem. Well, I do have a drive home now for a bit, so I will.
You've got to get up to Skipton. So
you
shouldn't live quite close to the shop.
Yeah, 10 minutes from, so it's a nice evening drive home now.
It shouldn't be too bad this time of night.
It's not a bad drive. But if you guys want to go downstairs, have a coffee, and she'll show you the layout that she's been built, and I will run
you'll
some videos.
hold down the fort, stop it from floating away. Yeah,
I
we
will
can
not
do that.
hold down the fort. It does not need to be held
Well, it's
down.
full of
I will,
helium.
however, in military terms, hold the fort.
You
No
know-
one holds down a fort. They're not going to fly away.
I'll let you into the secret. I do that deliberately to wind her up, and it works. So yeah, okay. Well, we'll do the shuffle and swap over. So if I don't see you guys by the end of the show, I'm going to leave you in the Cupboard Monkey's incapable hands, and we'll catch you later.
Thank you so much for having me, everyone. Thank you, and thank you for
so
having
much
me.
for coming. I mean, that's the thing. The Monday Club would be nothing without you guys watching it. You're absolute legends. Do tickle that like button. But also the guests, the people who come on, and it always amazes me a little bit that we get such high-profile guests on, so we're not worthy.
Oh no, I'm not high-profile. Trust me, I'm not. But thank you anyway.
Come on, you're the guy who
Thank
brought
you.
the O-Gauge press flow to the market. And the Black 5 with a proper helical gearbox on it as well. So when you push it, even when it's not powered, the wheels go round because it's got a proper gearbox. It's not a worm drive.
It's all the team back at base. Honestly, very little to do with
They
me. I wish
do
I
a
could
good
take
job.
it. They do an incredible job. They really do.
Okay, the
They
computer's
really
crashed.
do.
What do you mean it's crashed?
Now, we're still broadcasting.
Yes, but is it not letting you change anything?
Nope. The whole of this is not doing anything. Look at that.
Well, give it a moment.
I've given it a moment. There it goes.
I can see the chat moving, so it's just our version of the chat. Look, I'll let the Cupboard Monkey take over. Now she's broken everything. And I will.
I really have it. This
There,
is not
it
a
just
joke.
moved.
It wasn't working.
The computer was probably going, Windows needs to mess you about. It's Clippy the paperclip. I swear, Clippy the paperclip. It's still in
You're
there.
trying to run
Thank
a
you
live
very
stream.
much,
Would you
Steve.
like me to mess it up?
Thank you very much for all
No.
your kind comments as well. I've read pretty much most of them as we've been going. So thank you, everyone. Very
It's
nice.
been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Excellent. So I shall leave you in the Cupboard Monkey's incapable hands. And yeah.
Well, thank you very much, my dear, for saying incapable.
Did it on
I heard
purpose.
it. I heard it.
Played for
She's
and
a
got.
burger, isn't she?
Yeah,
she's
played
a
for and
burger.
got. So,
Everyone says no freezing. Oh, well, that's okay then. Right, well, we'll try this again, and this time, hopefully,
are you
it'll
going to
work.
Right, so Zoe,
I'll let you get out.
Right.
it's like that country and western song. How can I miss you if you
I
won't
get that?
go, Zoe?
Right, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
No,
Yeah.
thank you very much. Thank you, Zoe. Thank you, Jenny.
Pass the stuff down to him.
Oh yes, yes.
Oh, yeah.
That'll make
God.
it easier.
I nearly gained lots and lots of minks and LMS gubs there.
No, he'd have been back. You'd have had him for 5 minutes.
Yeah. So Zoe, do you want to shift past me? You can.
I will.
Oh, what the hell are you doing?
Oh, I'm just knocking everything over. Don't
You
worry.
trashing the joint?
Yes, it's. I'm trashing the gaff. It's your gaff. Oh, hang on. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Cupboard Monkey takeover.
Oi has taken over. Oi has. So, guys, here we are. I'm just going to settle in, and my goodness, Jen, you've warmed up the seat.
Yes, I have.
Let's see how
Hot
this
one.
works. Can I make it? Can I get the? There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. Right. Beep beep. If I put this over here, you guys can't see any of what's going on. The password for a decent coffee is Blue Mountain. I've heard of Blue Mountain, but I couldn't tell you what it is. So we've got a few options. Not options. A few people have sent in stuff. So let's do this. Bring the game hammer. It's the hammer is somewhere else. Don't worry. Right. Everything is slow, so let's see. Zoe's probably always in charge of the backup. To be fair, I do run the show. Literally, I sit behind the camera with the sound deck. You can't see it from here because I can't even turn this camera around. Oh, can I? So this is where I normally sit. You'll see with the sound deck, and normally there's a mouse and other controls here, and I run the show from there. So I can see what's going on, and I can do all of the stuff with OBS, the broadcast software, and things like that. So let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. Make the camera. Thundercats. Now that was a TV show. Yes. Right, here we go. We've got a message here from Mark Wilkes. He sent. That's not what it was. What's happened? I pressed a button and it gave me someone else. That is. How on earth did that happen? So we got a message from Mark Wilkes. Good evening, Zoe, Jenny, the toasters, Gandalf and all. In my job, I get to go to many wonderful places to deliver and collect, and Friday was no exception. I had to go to collect a pallet for France. I thought you meant from France. But while tracking down the pallet, I heard the distinctive sound of a steam locomotive. And I looked around to find an 042 tank loco. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Right, guys. Here we go. So I'm going to press the button. I believe it's this one. Yes, it is. How cool is that? Well, well, well. That's Stafford. So you're delivering or collecting pallets at Stafford in the engineering area. Oh, that is cool. That is very nice. Oh, yes. Very nice. Stafford Works. Ah. That is a nice looking locomotive there. Yeah, everyone else said, ooh, it looks real. Yes, it does. It really does. Oh. Now, we've been talking a lot about scenery and stuff. Look at the scenery here. How everything gets clogged in. Jen's kind of tried to do that with the stuff that she's got on her turntable, but it's not quite as full of gunk and stuff. Oh, Dovetail Direct tomorrow when we find out what's going on with Thomas and Friends. Okay, I would like to know what's going on with Thomas and Friends myself. Excuse me, because I've pretty much finished it. I don't like to brag. Crevices do get dirty, they do. And that's something that I need to try and model on my TC120 build. With the Thomas and Friends Wonders of Sodor, I've pretty much finished it. I've done all the stories. We've done a load of shunting. I found everything except the whistles. I can't be bothered trying to hunt tiny little pixels. So, yeah. That's your 3D warehouse in the background. Nice. So, I'd like another story, you know? I've got the one DLC they've got with James. I'd like some more. So, I'm looking forward to Dovetail Direct. That'd be nice. Also, the future of Train Sim World. They're turning off support for the older versions on Xbox One. And it'll just be the later consoles. Xbox One and PS4, I think they're turning off support for. You should still be able to run your old stuff. I mean, I can still run the older stuff on PC. So, it's not like you'll lose it, but you won't get anything new, that kind of thing. So, I want to see how it goes from there. So, yeah, thank you so much for sending that in. That's wonderful. Not long in, oh, Gandalf's here, yes. Gandalf?
A Monday Clover is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they need to.
Thanks, Gandalf. You so didn't see me do that. They're talking about Edward and Henry. Ooh, yes. Yes, Edward and Henry. Very nice, very nice. The new Thomas the Tank Engine reboot trailer is pants. To be honest with you, the moment it went CG, I know why they did it. I know why they did it. It's so much cheaper from the point of view of the people making it. Sorry, the people paying for it, not the people making it. Gandalf confirmed. Got the gear, got the gear. I try my best, but you know, these things, you sometimes you can't, your lips move when you talk. And sometimes your lips move when other people talk. Like, my lips move when Gandalf talks. And I don't know why. It must be some sort of magic. Gandalf is over there right now, waving at me. I can't turn the camera around to show you, because that would violate the contract. But, you know... But, yeah, the thing about Thomas the Tank Engine, from the person paying the bills point of view, CG animation is so much cheaper. The URL posted for Discord for tomorrow's Dovetail Direct. I don't see a link. Sorry, I don't see it. I thought you said when Thomas went PG. Now CG. The problem with CG is that it's not cheaper from the point of view of it requires fewer people, or that it's quicker to make or anything like that. It's not quicker to make, and it doesn't require fewer people. The problem is that a lot of the animators in CG don't have unions. So it's cheaper from the point of view of the person paying the bills because they don't have union fees and they can push worse contracts. That's the problem. That's why so many things went CG, especially at the turn of the century. Oh, this new stuff, there's no unions involved. We could get everything cheaper. We could give them bad contracts and this, that, and the other. That's the problem. So it's not great, and I don't like it. I prefer people to get a proper wage for a proper day's work. You know, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I like the idea of people being able to actually afford things. Right, let's have a look at what we've got next. We've got from Ham Shackleton, just to keep the grumblers happy. Here's a very short 45-second video. The grumblers? Who are the grumblers? Who's grumbling? What's going on here? Who's grumbling about 2 minutes watching trains for 2? Ah, there we go. Right. Okay, we're back. It looks like the stream crashed. What a surprise. The moment I start saying that people who work in CG animations deserve a living wage, the stream crashes. It's almost like there's some tech bro going, no, they can't say that. How can we keep our massive profits? It's a conspiracy. It's not really. Just everything stopped working. So we got here from Ham Shackleton a quick video. I'm going to paste the link into the chat like that. There we go. And we're going to have a nice look at this. So what have we got? A nice short video, only 45 seconds. Let's do this. Press the button and let's have a look. So what we got? Oh, it's a... Oh, that is brilliant. Was that Billy's replacement speakers and the William? Oh my goodness, you've got the entire set. Oh my goodness, you've got the entire set. That's fantastic. I love it. I love it a lot. That is very cool. Currently eating white chocolate hobnobs. Oh my goodness. Well, I can't really do the white chocolate because I don't like it. It's Jen loves white chocolate, but I'm not a fan. Oh, look at that! Is a Billy's replacement speakers. That is cool. Oh, and it's off again. Thank you so much for sending that in. Thank you. But I can match you with the nobbled hobs. Hobnob. Billy's replacement layout. Pre-order now. Or he'll come round and slap you. No, he wouldn't do that. Billy, I've talked to Billy. He doesn't come round and slap people. He just throws bricks through your window with a leaflet wrapped around the gun. You need new windows.
Is that Billy's replacement speakers?
I hear a Jenny Kirk. My goodness.
Yes, you do.
We've got a message here from Mark Wilson saying new Hellion models at Birmingham New Street. Okay.
Oh. Oh.
Doesn't it?
Oh, it's yeah.
Doesn't that suggests one of two things? To be honest with you, either Hellion have the ability to transport locomotives back in time,
and make them full size,
or Mark Wilson has increased the size of his DeLorean to take models back in time.
He says they're Hellion to hide the fact that he's got a DeLorean with a working time machine. It's like...
So let's have a look. That actually is pretty cool. Do you want to jump in?
Not really, no. You're doing okay. You're doing okay. You only got 7 minutes to go.
Trying to zoom in on this. Ah! The Royal Warwickshire Fusilier. I love that we can zoom in and we can see it and read it. That's nice.
Yeah. He does a wonderful job with the weathering.
Pass me over another tissue, please.
It's not right.
They're right there. I was pointing at
right, yeah.
The box. The box is nice. Thank you. There's something in the air tonight. I don't know what it is, but it's really causing me problems.
That's scrubbed up well. But then again, Mark Wilson, he's when you've got a decent camera and a time machine, then I suppose everything photos.
Whoa.
These are lovely layouts.
They
SHGP
really are.
Media says, I was tempted to get that loco at £99, but it's sold out. I'll be honest with you, I think they were selling them too cheap.
At 99 quid, that is a steal.
The fact that they sold out some of these so quickly tells me that actually they didn't charge enough for them. And yeah, I know that that's going to make people, oh, but my bargains! But yeah, but what happens is it devalues the product.
To an extent, yeah.
So they do another production run.
And it won't be that price.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Richard Gruger says that's definitely his peak.
Oh, well.
Dovetail Direct tomorrow. We get to find out what's coming with Thomas.
Oh, we need new routes, new trains.
2 new characters are rumoured.
Rumoured? Well, who's splashing rumours around?
What was it? I can't see where they were. I think one that was. I'm looking back now.
I'd like to see some of the narrow gauge stuff.
Edward and Henry.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Amber Occupy Railway says, Jenny, did you get a bargain in the model rail
wow.
office sales? I'll be honest, I'd already
That
bought them
looks
full price. I bought the 2 Class 11s I really wanted. I paid full price for them because they were worth it. Can we just put that out there? I felt, I don't begrudge it. I'm not sitting there thinking, grrr, they lowered the prices by like 50% and I paid full price. No, as far as I was concerned, I paid a price that I thought was a fair price for them and I got the model I wanted. I don't begrudge the fact that they're now selling at half price. I think that actually my only surprise is the fact that they still have any to sell because they are great models.
Railway Rob says, if you don't mind me suggesting, Zoe, the doctor prescribed me mometazone nasal spray for my allergies and it's worked wonders. I can't use stuff like that. And it's a me problem rather than a medical thing. But the idea of shoving anything up my nose makes me sick.
Yes,
so I can't do it. I just can't do it.
Yes, medical science marvels at this creature.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Marco Blues. This concrete finish is incredible. It really is. These do look real, and it's stuff
the
like
lighting.
That. Yeah.
So you get the way he does the shadows. I think he must take
Oh,
these
look
outdoors.
at that! Perfectly framed.
Well, of course it is. He was there on the platform with his camera, and everybody going, "What's with the life preserver?"
Why's your car shiny? What's that cube you're holding?
Yeah. Well, it might be using his phone.
Well, that's even worse. What's that shiny brick you're holding? What's it? Why is it clicking?
Why have you got that piece of glass?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Oh.
So we got the photograph that has the full thing, and then inside it is a perfect frame around. Oh, that is just
through the brute trolley. So well done. But also,
that is
look
so
how
good.
the 2 dudes to the left are also perfectly framed for the edge. That is actually quite a complex composition pulled off to a T.
That is, I love it. Top layout and pictures. Absolutely. You're absolutely right there, Anthony.
Always.
There
you know
we
what? Can I just put something out there?
Yeah.
I think that Mark Wilson has impressed us so much over the years. We've had so much joy from his little jaunts and his DeLorean. Should we send him a blue badge? Just as
yeah, well, we'll see him at the show. Give him a blue badge then.
So, Mark Wilson, the waxer of the DeLorean, hit us up for an exclusive blue badge, because, to be honest, you've impressed us so many times, it would seem rude and petty not to just give you a blue badge.
These are brilliant.
But you must send one out to the person who very kindly sent
the only
you that
reason I
drop.
haven't sent one out yet is because I've been running around like a blue-ass fly, as my mum would say. Yeah. You know, it's not just the quality of the layout, the lighting or anything like that, but look at the quality of his paintwork on the actual models. That fabric looks right. That looks like leather. That looks like suede. That looks like denim. He's done an incredible job.
Oh yeah, I mean the figure paint, it's a bit like what we were talking about with Ellis, about figure painting, and Mark Wilson has got the Zen.
Yeah. That I can't do figure painting that well. That is incredible.
Actually, I mean, you are pretty good.
But I can't do it that well. and I've been learning for years. These are so good.
Really is, actually.
They
Definitely
really
give
are.
him a blue badge, says Claude Hamilton.
Yeah, you're
Ben
absolutely right.
Tull at 6068 says
Oh.
Mark's layouts are impressive.
What have these kids done? What's going on here?
Yeah.
What's the story? Have they been licking the gronks? Is that what's? I don't know what am I talking about?
Claude Hamilton says Class 11 12105 was acquired by me. Very happy.
Very nice.
Yeah, I mean the model rail offers sale is really good. Just fill your boots. You won't be disappointed with the quality of the models. Can I just say as well that they will fit the next 18 HM7000 decoders. Just saying, just putting that out there, and there's room for the Tentacle Stay Alive as well.
You know what? I'm looking at this and thinking, I've stood there.
Yeah.
I reckon it's so well done that I recognise the location.
Exactly. I mean, that's the beauty of Mark's work, is it is totally recognisable.
The Gronk Clickers were a very respectable spotting club.
Yeah. So,
Figure painting's difficult, says Raven Legs. Absolutely.
yeah. But everybody, don't forget, if you haven't already done so, do tickle the like button and consider sharing this stream. I think a lot of people will find our interview with Ellis Clark really, really interesting. And as always, a huge thank you. There's a Gronk it up!
Gronk it up! Gronk it up!
Hashtag not a cult for legal and tax purposes. But no, a huge thank you to Ellis Clark from Ellis Clark Trains and Clark Railworks for coming on.
Yeah.
It honours us when these important people frequent the loft and go, oh, is that it?
Yeah, when the important movers and shakers come to Plebsville.
No. But no, it's always a pleasure. And it was an absolute honour to be able to give him a blue badge.
It was so good.
Yeah. So thank you so much, everybody. Hopefully we've had a good turnout, and I'm really sorry I just wasn't able to read comments like I usually do.
That's the end of it. Thank you
I know
so
Gandalf
much.
was enthralled as well. And we had a lot. Yeah, she said that without even moving her lips. No, it was an absolute honour. Thank you so much. And I know he's not watching because he's driving home at the
I
moment.
hope he's not watching, he's driving.
Yeah, no, he won't be. But I'm sure that John JMC, the guru of sound, was on there. Would have been watching. There'd have been somebody making notes. Let's make sure the boss doesn't say anything he shouldn't.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to end now with the end credits because it is 9 o'clock.
Okay.
But thank you so much for joining us. And yes, to answer Andy Sawyer, and thank you, big up to Andy Sawyer at Sawyer Models.
Yeah.
Go there, get your cool second-hand stuff, get your new stuff. Also, talk to him about weathering options because he has several weatherers. Craig is great, but he has other options as well, and I'm sure they're just as great. I haven't met them. This is what happens when I'm left alone.
I'll be honest. Just
ask for Craig.
Ask for Craig. Come on, let's not mess about.
Yeah. Remember, see it, smell it, sort it. I prefer my version. See it, smell it, vomit. But seriously, big up to Andy Sawyer. And yes, to answer Andy's question, we'll be talking about Dovetail Direct. Probably on Game Hammer tomorrow night, which is something that I might start a little early so that we can talk about Dovetail Direct and then go into Uncharted 3. But for now, take care, have a great evening, see you later. Bye!
And is Game Hammer Classic Gaming on?
Yes.
So, stay tuned, you'll get your prompt, then head on over. Before you go, if you haven't already done so, do hit the like button, consider sharing to your social media feed. And if you haven't done so already, do please subscribe to be the first to know about new videos as and when they go up. Until next time, it's just me and the Cupboard Monkey saying, you guys take great care of yourself. Happy modelling. Bye for now.
a cup. Pull those wagons back and forth. Grunk it up. For what you're worth. Grunk it up. Grunk it up. Grunk it up. Hashtag not a cult.
The train now departing is the 2106 service to Bud's Farding, stopping at Mineth Tatis, Tatis Newith. Mineth Tatis Newith, yes, they are different places. PG Samboroto, yes, we go overseas now. Eindhoven, Pittsburgh, somehow. That unnamed layout that Jenny said had a name, and it turned out it didn't have a name. Bolton Trinity Road. All stop change at 3 cocks for Lord Hereford's Knob. Then on to Bud's Farding. That's the 2106 service to Bud's Farding. If you go up to the loft today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go up to the loft today, you'll never believe your eyes. For every train there ever was has gathered there together, because today's the day that Jenny does the Monday Club. And that's why we don't have me singing the outro song. Beep beep. Beep 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 beep. Right, see you later, babe. To answer your question there, Richard Swiderski, we don't stop at places like Buggles-Kelly, because if we start mentioning one YouTuber's station,
Yeah, they'll all want him.
everyone will want it. And as much as we'd like to, we'd be here all night. So we have to draw a line, and it's at none, so that no one feels left out.
I love the sound of that whistle.
That is an incredible sound, although it does give me flashbacks to Railroad Tycoon 2. Simon Twisters plus no train stop at Buggles-Kelly. Do they just run through?
Are you going to go and do your show, or are you just going to mess about? Stop messing about!
You want me to go to work?
Yeah.
My goodness. Make me go to work.
Zantek, that is from the CMR Shay.
Nice. A few people were asking what that blue and white locomotive next to you is, by the way.
It's a HXD Chinese Railways freight locomotive, an electric one.
I love the colour scheme.
It is very eye-catching, definitely.
Beep beep.
Yes, Ben Tullett, the Chinese diesel does have sound. Let me see. 1160.
Pudham Junction, the blue and white one, it's a Chinese Railways HXD class freight locomotive, which is electric. Now, I should say, I put the sound decoders in, so I don't know whether that's exactly what it should sound like. I tried to pick something that was potentially similar, but it didn't come shipped from the factory with the sound in. But they are factory fitted with speakers, and there is a sound option from the factory, but I don't actually have that one. This is actually, I think, an Italian locomotive that the sound profile is from, but it does sound good. Absolutely, Lydia Clary. It does have working cab lights as well. There we go. Very, very bright. I've only got 2 tones. You can't really play Close Encounters of the Third Kind with 2 notes. Part of the reason the horn sounds interesting is actually because it's 2 sound decoders with the same profile on, playing through 2 separate locomotives. But I hope everybody has thoroughly enjoyed today, and we'll be handing you off to Gamehammer Classic Gaming in just a moment. Do tell your friends, share it to your social media feed. It's the best way of letting people know that they can come and check out our lovely chat. An hour and a half. We were going quite some time, but an hour and a half with Ellis Clark, and it's always a pleasure. A huge thanks to him actually coming to the loft. I was trying to work out what that was. The Shay is still doing its thing. So just had word that Gamehammer Classic Gaming is just about to go live. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure as always. The Monday Club would be nothing without you guys. But until next time, this is me. Jen asked Zoe to run my little vid again for you later, says Ham Shelton. Will do. Looking forward to it. Take care, see you later.